In this video, we will be going over how to launch your VNS3 controller from the AWS Marketplace. We have already created a VPC and subnet with internet access using the VPC wizard. Navigate to the AWS EC2 console. Select Launch Instance. Name your instance, then type VNS3 into the catalog search. Hit the return key on your keyboard to search. Go to the Marketplace AMIs tab. For this demo, we are using the VNS3 free edition. Select Subscribe Now. Because this is a free version of the VNS3 controller, you will only be charged for the Amazon instance runtime cost. For most cases, T3 Micro is a large enough instance size. The limiting factor is typically not CPU or memory, but allocated baseline and burst bandwidth. VNS3 instances can be resized if needed. Select Proceed without a key pair. VNS3, like many networking products, ships as a sealed appliance. SSH is not available as a means of administration, and keys provided in the EC2 console are ignored. Edit the network settings accordingly. We are using a dual stack VPC for this demo. Do not assign a public IP. We will attach an elastic IP after the instance is launched. If you are using IPv6, you have the option to assign the IPv6 address now, or you can do it later. The last step in launching the instance will be configuring the security group. By default, there is a rule for TCP port 8000 which will allow you to access the web UI. For best practice, we recommend only opening this port to the public IP you will be using to access the web UI or API. For this demo, we have already created a security group with the requisite rules. If you will be using the encrypted overlay network, you will need to open UDP port 51820 for WireGuard point to site connections. For IPsec connections, you will need UDP ports 500 and 4500 open for NAT traversal, or UDP port 500 and ESP protocol 50 for native IPsec. VNS3 controller peering uses UDP ports 1195 to 1203. Select Launch Instance. Go back to the EC2 console and navigate to the Elastic IPs tab. If you don't have any Elastic IPs, you will need to allocate a new one and associate it with your new instance. Go to the Actions menu and select Associate Elastic IP address. Choose the instance you just created, then Associate. Go back to the Instances page and select the VNS3 controller. If you will be setting up site-to-site or point-to-site VPNs, make sure source destination checking is disabled on the instance. In the Actions menu, select Networking, change source destination check. Check the Stop checkbox, then save. Your VNS3 controller is now set up and ready for use. In your web browser, navigate to the public IP associated with your VNS3 controller using HTTPS on port 8000. You will arrive at the VNS3 login page. The default username is VNS3, and in AWS, the default password is the instance ID. We recommend changing this password before moving forward. Note, in the event you forget or misplace your UI and/or API password, they can be reset via AWS user data. Links to additional information and documentation can be found in the description of this video. If you have any questions, please email Cohesive support at cohesive.net.